Captain's log, stardate 6269.3. The landing party and the Klingon Captain Klar have passed through a portal in time and space. We're about to face tests by the Brassica. Success will mean formal relations. Failure will mean unknown.
Welcome. We applaud your willingness to confront the unknown.
Please tell us what's going on. Where are we?
Patience. I cannot answer all yet. Those elements of our society still ill at ease with your cultures have more questions.
We've had enough. No more foolish tests.
Do we have any other choice?
More tests. Let's just get on with it. I'd like to hear what the others think.
Yeah, let's just try to be diplomatic.
I will withdraw until you address me again.
And we still have our inventory, thankfully.
A sophisticated projected image similar to those on Onius 2.
Well, I'm not exactly sure if any of this is going to be useful here.
It's not a living thing, Jim. Spock's tricorder is more useful here.
A quite alien-looking being, its greenish skin hinting a plant phylogeny. Large eyes set well to either side of the head suggest a creature whose ancestors were more prey than predator. A third central eye augments 3D vision. A vibrating tympanum looking like an open mouth is the sound-producing organ. The brightly colored combs on its head might be personal adornment, rank significators, or tribal markings. The Doctor is queasy from the bizarre distortion of space around him. The Captain seems edgy, alert to danger. A Klingon self-assured in his power yet not arrogant. His expression is unreadable. The science officer is intrigued, but wary of an area which fails to conform to the precepts of Euclidean space. The communications officer carefully controls her reactions and observes everything.
The Brassica are calling the tune and expecting us to dance, Captain. It might be undignified, but all of us can make valid, responsible choices and stand by the consequences.
Captain, even though isolated, the Brassica are quite advanced. It's certain their insights will be unusual and enlightening. The logical course is to establish a dialogue.
I am grateful you included me, Captain. Representing the Klingon Empire, I believe we must not be cowed. Passivity may be regarded as undesirable to them.
Everyone all right?
If I was meeting us, I'd be skittish too. We've gone this far, there's no sense in quitting now.
Do we really have a choice? I guess we could try using the communicator, but I doubt it's going to work in this environment.
Captain Kirk, I am here. Are you ready?
Our mandate is to seek out new life, new civilizations. If we must do so on your terms, we will. Explain yourself. We're not rats to run mazes. We deserve to know what you want. We welcome contact with the new race, but you try our patience. No more tests or we'll leave. Now.
We were the ones who made the choice to come here in the first place, so...
Our mandate is to seek out new life, new civilizations. If we must do so on your terms, we will.
Listen. We have modified our legends by what we understand of your species. You will be asked a question and may discuss it. Only one person may answer. Begin. I make the first query. It is that question posed to the heroic companions we call the Gerrit. Answer this. Who among you may go to the greatest pains in the pursuit of life? You may talk. I will withdraw until you choose to speak with me. Remember, only one of you may reply.
Okay.
First, Kirk, I would hear you explain if you should be the one to answer. And why?
I'm sorry, Captain Klar, if I decide to present myself as the one to answer, and I'm considering it. I'll explain to the Brassican then and no sooner. Point taken. Very well. So that everyone has a chance to make their own case, I will explain what I consider to be the sensible choice. I'm sorry, point taken. I'm a ship's captain. 430 lives depend on me, on my every decision. Our mission is, in part, to seek out new life, new civilizations, so it comes down to me.
Am I any different? Does not my crew live or die on my decisions? I explore space for the Klingon Empire!
The starship captain stands as representative of the United Federation of Planets. Many races, whose goals and visions for the future are pursued together. Who shoulders the greater weight, Captain Clark?
No one has ever accused you of modesty, Kirk. See it as you will. You, surrounded by your fellow humans and officers, or me, the sole representative of my empire.
I may not be Vulcan, but I'm the logical choice. Who goes through more pains in pursuit of life than a doctor?
You all know what I think. What I need from you are compelling reasons that someone else should answer.
The Brassican's question is not, properly speaking, a riddle. A riddle has a right and a wrong answer. This is more philosophical, with many possible answers.
Then how can we possibly answer correctly, Spock? Or can we?
One answer will seem more satisfactory than all others, Captain.
At least we can eliminate you, Spock, from this horse race. I don't see any right answer for you to be the person who would go to the greatest pain in the pursuit of life.
On the contrary, Doctor. Respect for all living things is fundamental to Vulcan philosophy. A rigorous adherence, unlike humans' variable justifications.
You aren't suggesting, Spock, that you're the right choice.
I believe I may be, Doctor. The Brassicans may agree.
Gentlemen, I think you may be overlooking a fundamental difference between me and everyone else here. I am the only female, the only one capable of bringing forth new life. That qualifies me as the one among us who might go to the greatest pains in the pursuit of life.
Jim, it's evident that each of us believes we're the right choice. I'm reasonably sure I'm the person they have in mind, but I can see everyone can make a case for themselves.
As indeed we have, Doctor.
I fail to see how further discussion will alter the situation. Either you must come to some decision, weighing the strength of individual opinions,
or I get some hints out of our green host.
Let's see if we can actually speak to this person without actually triggering anything.
We have our answer. Are you ready to hear it? We have questions to ask. We have questions to ask.
Very well. Ask.
What consequences result from an incorrect answer?
The overall test will likely continue, Captain. This is one phase, and we are examining the whole.
What if I were to declare that there's not one right answer, but many?
There is just one answer we would consider wholly correct, Captain Kirk.
In reality, you expect us to answer two questions. What we think is right, and what you think is right. What consequences result? You are clearly a race who values fairness. Shouldn't we have more information before we try to answer?
Okay, I was expecting a reply there.
What consequences result from an incorrect answer? You are clearly
Very well.
No. It was agreed they shouldn't be given special assistance.
Their complaint is valid. Different species think differently. A hint seems appropriate.
They must show the faculties to think through problems.
Well, Captain, are you positive you want a hint?
Yes, get on with it. No, don't bother. We'll give our answer now. Yes, get on with it.
Captain Kirk, among our species, quality is often valued over quantity. We laud the contribution of the individual, even potential contribution by one who is gifted, over the united actions of many.
You call that a hint? Let me think some more. Maybe that'll help one of my companions. No, I think that tells us what we need to know. We are ready now.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most cautious response.
Let the one who would answer be the next one to talk.
I believe Uhura is the one to answer this one.
Alone among the people here, I am female and capable of childbearing. The nurturing of a new life remains a uniquely female labor. Certainly, I am the one among us who might go to the greatest pains in the pursuit of life.
Your answer is accepted. However, This is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong.
Where's he gone?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk. You're nothing like the Gerent, who hold a special place in our memories. The second question: who among you wrestles most intensely with the chaos of life? Talk amongst yourselves. I will answer questions if I can. In the end, only one may reply.
The brassican's whiskery tendrils quiver when the mouth tympanum forms speech, but you can't tell what that means, if anything. Emotions are not apparent, but clearly his mind is racing.
I think that I forgot to look at things in the last location.
Captain Kirk looks ready to explode with intensity. The Klingon is paying very close attention to all that occurs. Dr. McCoy feels slightly out of his depth.
As with the previous question, this is a question of judgment, Captain.
Meaning there's no right or wrong answer.
I suspect the Brassica would disagree with you, Captain. There is likely a specific answer they expect. I can only speculate.
And?
Each of us can best make his or her own case. As science officer, I believe myself likely. It is the very heart of science to attempt to comprehend the fundamentally chaotic nature of the universe.
Chaotic? If the universe wasn't ordered, we couldn't make sense of it, Spock.
As you are certainly aware, Doctor, chaos defines the very nature of patterns. However, this does not mean random.
Well, that may be. On the other hand, I would be the last person to say a Vulcan wrestles with any concept. And don't you raise your eyebrow at me, Spock.
Let me explain. I believe I am the appropriate answer to this question because of my position as captain of the Enterprise.
A captain sailing the emptiness of space. Lives that rely on your every word. I thought that too, Kirk. It is not sufficient.
I disagree, Klar. Without a strong hand at the tiller, shipboard life would dissolve into chaos. Those demands make me the best answer.
It's obvious you have never spent time among Klingons, Kirk. The life of the Klingon warrior is the struggle between control and chaos.
Controlled chaos is how you describe it, Klar? I'm surprised.
Clearly, the Brassica know more of us than you. And I am certainly the one who these aliens intend to answer. My lineage extols the tradition of Kalas.
My reasons for selecting myself are at least as good as yours, Klar.
Are these two just going to be bickering throughout this? We were getting on so well before.
Spock's on the right track, Jim, but he's still wrong. I focus on the chaos of life. Who struggles more than a physician?
Made some sense, McCoy. And I've heard you were a humble country doctor. Sounded more like a Vulcan.
No need to be insulting.
Gentlemen, we've had enough chaos to deal with. Interesting analysis, Bones. However, I think I might be the one the Brassica have in mind. We are ready with our answer now. We have questions.
Very well. Ask.
What have you done with Lieutenant Uhura? I demand an explanation.
We will not discuss this.
Then this encounter is over. You've given me no reason to trust you. I won't sit by and let you spirit my people away. I don't like it, but I'll take it, for now. I'll expect an explanation before this is over. Then this encounter... I don't like it. We are ready with our answer now. I want to question you further.
Very well. Ask.
What have you done with Lieutenant? Would you define some of the words you're using to give us a better idea what point you're trying to make? We've answered one question. We're trying to meet you halfway. Will you tell us something about your people now? Would you define some of the words you're...
Define words?
I am not one who thinks you should have any assistance.
Others among us are less hostile, Captain. Perhaps a broad hint, something less definite than the words.
Define the words. We communicate clearly. Without ambiguity, it would not be a riddle.
Would you at least explain the context of the words?
You are not making a good impression on my associates, Captain Kirk, as I anticipated. What is it you want defined?
Explain your use of chaos in this context. Explain your use of life in this context. Explain the phrase wrestles most intensely. Forget I asked. Let's get on with something else. Explain your use of chaos in this context.
Chaos, Captain Kirk, is the way intellectually sophisticated races understand complex patterns which seem to be random, but are not. The shape of a cloud, unpredictable and changeable, but nevertheless comprehensible. What else do you want explained?
Explain your use of life in this context.
Although we ask one person to embody the answer, do not imagine a single individual's passage from birth to death as central to this question.
That was a big help, wasn't it, Jim? I still think I fit the idea best. As a physician, I deal with life on a grand scale, but only one life at a time.
What else do you want explained?
Explain the phrase wrestles most intensely.
How disappointing, Captain. I, of course, expected nothing better. This part of the question addresses the dichotomy of life and death, and the eternal struggle between those grand concepts.
What else do you want explained?
That's enough for now.
McCoy is definitely the best option.
I am a physician. I am the one who cares for life and health of hundreds aboard the Enterprise. The patterns of chaos are the patterns of life and death, and every day of my professional life is focused on balancing those patterns towards sustaining the quality of life. I am the one among us who struggles most intensely with the chaos of life.
Your answer is accepted, Dr. McCoy. However, this is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong in our sight.
You expect me to stand by while my people keep disappearing?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk.
Congratulations, Captain. There are those among us
who doubted you could make it this far. The third question is somewhat different, but our heroes, the gerund, found the answer. Solve this equation. Pig plus X equals cow. Talk among yourselves. I will answer questions if I can. Only one may reply.
The colored combs atop the Brassican's strange-looking head catch your attention, but you do not know what significance they might have. The captain controls his impatience, focusing on the circumstances. Mr. Spock finds the situation curious. The Klingon seems impassive, but there's a sense of tightly controlled power below the surface.
We need to think. I'm sure we can work out the trick they're posing with this question.
Pig plus X equals cow. I heard the question quite differently.
What are you saying? The question was pig plus X equals cow.
Interesting, Kirk. I heard tlok pok plus X equals slok nav. To humans, it would translate to plant plus X equal hive paper. What did you hear, Vulcan?
Chicken plus X equals reality.
Each question starts with something edible. Pigs and chickens are farm stock, are they not?
Many elements of Federation society do not consume animal flesh, Captain Clara. In principle, however, you are correct. But I believe the answer is, there is no logical answer.
I don't think so, Spock. But I don't like yours either, Clar. Where's the relationship between a cow, hive paper, and reality?
Difficult, I admit, Kirk. But they must be connected.
I'm not impressed, Clar. The Brassica addressed me first. I think we need to answer pig plus X equals cow.
You try my patience, Kirk. There's a pattern and an answer. A tlok pok grows a flower that ka-cha insects visit, and ka-cha make nectar and hive paper. So flower would work.
And what does that do for my question? Or Spock's?
Your officer was asked to solve chicken plus X equal reality. The philosophers of Ballari 7 maintain a celestial bird something like a chicken laid an egg from which the universe hatched. The idea of reality began as something egg-shaped, was an early theory of Klingon cosmologists.
You're stretching, Clar.
It all fits. The tlok pok flower is egg-shaped. Therefore, I believe egg is correct for all equations. Kirk, in a barter society, might not a cow be worth, say, a pig with a clutch of eggs thrown in?
Clar, I come from a farm on Earth in a state called Iowa. Your solution makes some sense, but so would pig plus crate of apples equal cow. It's something else.
If I may, based on the evidence, I remain convinced there is no answer.
A time will come when we must answer.
I'm willing to let either of you answer.
The brassica will allow only one to answer. Captain, you hear one question, I hear another. None are sensible. Logic dictates identifying the pattern. I believe the brassica expect us to realize there is no pattern. Specifically, there is no answer.
More than one question and the answer must solve them all. I've heard nothing better than my answer. Egg. It might be twisted logic, but it works.
Clar is more than just a pretty face, it seems.
Getting more than one question confuses things. I still have a gut feeling that pig plus X equals cow is the one. The answer must be something about shifting the letters. I'll get it in another minute. We are ready with our answer now. We have questions.
Very well. Ask.
If you tell us more about the gerund, maybe we can figure out what they would have answered.
The questions we ask have been suitably modified to allow for differences between your people and ours. Is there something else?
We are ready with our answer now. I want to get back to a different question.
Very well. Ask.
If you tell us more, can you give us a hint? Can you at least tell us if we've been answering you correctly so far? Please repeat the original question. If you tell us, can you give us a hint?
Very well. A broad hint, if you wish.
Let's get on with it. No, skip it. Let's get on with it.
Congratulations, Captain Kirk. You correctly know when to quit. There is your hint. Generalize from that to the answer we expect from you in the greater question. Are you ready to answer now, or do you need more time?
We are ready with our answer now. I want to get back to a different question.
Very well. Ask.
If you tell us, can you give us a hint? Can you at least tell us if we've been answering you correctly so far?
Answers that have been accepted have been accepted. More I cannot say. Have you other questions?
We are ready with our answer now. I want to get back to a different question.
Very well. Ask.
If you can you please repeat the original question? If you tell us more about the gerund, please repeat the original question.
The question I asked you was to solve this equation. Pig plus X equals cow. Have you others?
We are ready with our answer now.
Let the one who would answer be the next to speak.
Assume my question is the one to answer. Counting each letter of the words from its place in the alphabet, the equation 32 plus X equals 41 results. The answer is 9, and since I is the 9th letter, I is the answer to pig plus X equals cow.
Captain, I like self-assurance, but your belief you are always the answer is pitiful. Why use a human alphabet when not all here are human?
You will notice, Clar, that I have the only arithmetically derived answer.
More than one question and the answer must solve them all. I've heard nothing better than my answer. Egg. It might be twisted logic, but it works.
Captain, you hear one question, I hear another. None are sensible. Logic dictates identifying the pattern. I believe the brassica expect us to realize there is no pattern. Specifically, there is no answer.
So we have 3 very different answers, but in this occasion we will be using Spock. I believe Kirk and Clar need to work this out to the actual end.
The question I heard was chicken plus X equals reality. This question is nonsensical, as is Captain Kirk's. Therefore, I deduce the answer is that there is no answer.
Your answer is accepted. However, this is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong.
You plan to make off with everyone? Do you really expect me to keep taking that without protest?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk.
I am astonished that an alien like you has muddled your way this far. It is a great honor that we share the Riddle Master's questions to the gerent. The last question. Answer this. There are two present. Only one may go. Why should you be the one to leave this place alive? Discuss this. I will answer questions if I can and will. You might want to discuss this with me to explore your options.
Yeah, we will be discussing this in length.
The captain has the wary, angry look of someone who suspects he's the butt of a bad joke. The Klingon captain's eyes burn with anger. The colored combs atop the Brassican's strange-looking head catch your attention, but you do not know what significance they might have.
We're ready with our answer. We have questions to ask.
Ask your question.
Would you repeat the original question, just as you asked it? Why should you want to prevent one or the other of us from leaving here? Is there anything we might do that would win a hint to the type of answer you're expecting? Perhaps something that would indicate a real choice? You're the same individual we spoke with before, aren't you? I seem to recognize the colored comb devices on your head. Would you repeat, why should you want to prevent one or the other of us from leaving here?
I did not mention anything about preventing individuals from leaving. I simply asked why, given that only one of you may, you should be the one to leave.
Do not be obtuse. The captain's question is legitimate. Captain Kirk, his answer is nevertheless cogent. There is nothing about the question itself which states that someone will be prevented from leaving. However, you are being asked to justify your continued existence, preferentially to your companion's continued existence.
I want to talk with my associates. We'll get back to you. I want to get back to a different question. Hypothetical questions are fundamentally empty. However, if you prevent one of us from leaving, then the question is no longer hypothetical. Is the question hypothetical or not? I want to hypothetical.
The question is philosophical, Captain. As for whether it is hypothetical, have you the same number of companions standing beside you now as when we began? That is how hypothetical this question is.
We're ready with our answer. I want to talk with my associates. We'll get back to you. I want to get back to a different question.
Ask your question.
Would you repeat the original? Why should you want to prevent one of the... Is there anything we might do that would win a hint to the type of answer you're expecting? Perhaps something that would indicate a real choice?
No, Captain. Ask all the questions you wish, if you think that will help. Beyond that, why should we expand upon the question when it is such a straightforward query?
We're ready with our answer. I want to talk with my associates. I want to get back to a different question.
Ask your question.
Would you repeat? You're the same individual we spoke with before, aren't you? I seem to recognize the colored comb devices on your head.
So what if I am? Do you think it changes the question? Given your attitude toward these aliens, he should think so, although this is not the case. Captain Kirk, the designs are unique from one of us to another, yes?
And you also know we don't wish to discuss it further, Captain. One of the few times my associates and I agree. Now, what next?
We're ready with our answer. I want to talk with my associates. We'll get back to you.
Well, we only actually have one associate. We should probably speak with him.
Intriguing question, Kirk. Two captains representing empires at odds with each other.
The Federation is no empire, Clar, and the Organian Treaty assures we are not at each other's throat.
Be honest. There are many differences between us. I wish to hear your analysis before I offer my own thoughts.
I'd hoped you thought of something new. I'm having second thoughts, and I want to go over my ideas with you again. I'd hoped you thought of something new. I'm having second thoughts, and I want to go over my ideas with you again.
You go or I go, Kirk. Have you a better idea?
Since I represent the peaceful and unified Federation, I'm the only one possible answer. We would share the Brassica knowledge, even with the Klingons, but I doubt the reverse would be true. This is best for everyone. I might surprise you, Clar. I believe the Brassica will come to us in time. The Klingons need the civilizing influence they offer, and you're the best representative. I'll bow out, and you proceed. I don't like the choices. I want another alternative, but I'm not sure there is one.
I feel the same, Kirk. I have a thought about how we might deal with the question.
Go ahead, Clar, I'm listening. Forget it, Clar, I have my own ideas. Go ahead, Clar, I'm listening.
They're asking us to choose one to proceed and one to remain.
That's the implication of death for the one who remains.
I concur. They want an answer that either I live and you die, or you live and I die. I say we answer, we both live, or both die.
Good concept. What if they refuse?
We choose it, whether they offer or not.
And if it's not the answer I give?
We shall see, won't we?
We shall see, but Clar has been very good to us throughout. There has been some bickering, but well, that's to be expected, I suppose.
We're ready with our answer.
Let the one who would answer be the next one to talk.
Oh, yes.
You want me to choose one of us or the other to proceed. Well, frankly, I don't think it's right to put either of us at risk. We're both starship captains, both legitimate representatives of millions of inhabitants on thousands of planets. I want another alternative, another choice.
Captain Kirk, you have stepped forward to make your choice, and that choice is very simple.
I proceed from this room alone. Allow Captain Clar to proceed from this room alone. We both proceed from this room, or neither of us does.
We're going to honor our agreement.
There is no such option offered. What exactly do you mean by choosing in this way? That perhaps you should both die?
No, Brassican, it means we're changing the rules. You want one to remain, perhaps to die, and one to go on? We refuse to play that game. You want to meet with us as much as we wish to meet with you, so take us both through, or let us both remain in this surreal purgatory forever. Take it or leave it.
You have confounded me, Captain Kirk. I did not believe you would make such a choice.
But I declared all along that this race had the qualities we sought, the understanding of both leadership and sacrifice. Captain Kirk, you have achieved all that I, at least, had hoped of you. It is time for us to greet you face to face.
Greetings. We look forward to a long and fruitful relationship with both your peoples. Your starships will be welcome here on any peaceful mission.
I am pleased to meet you face to face as well. However, I want my crew back.
Of course, Captain.
You're all right, all of you? You were treated well?
We are unharmed, Captain. We engaged in enlightening discussions with the Brassicans. They felt it necessary to isolate themselves so long ago because of interstellar disputes between...
Later, Spock. Right now, I'm glad you're okay.
Indeed, Captain. We are well.
But they couldn't be sure we would pass all their tests. Brassican, how do you explain that?
Some of us could not restrain our desire to learn. It seemed worth the risk, and has proved so.
I believe the Federation and the Brassica will have a long and fascinating future together.
Although my associate Septhi has great misgivings about breaking our isolation, others of us have high hopes.
You are star-eyed, if you imagine that no difficulties lie ahead. However, all conditions have been met, and so I also welcome you, Captain Kirk.
Thank you. Septhi, is it?
Yes, and our moderator, leader to you, is Zenti.
Zenti, Aha, and Septhi. I hope to show you you've made the right decision.
Speaking for the Klingon Empire, I too look forward to the relationship between all peoples. You surprise me, Kirk. Perhaps one day we will even trust you.
We'll just have to see, won't we?
Captains, feel free to look around while we summon your two ships to these coordinates. Captain Kirk, I have something interesting to show you over here. Come with me.
We will follow him momentarily.
The Klingon's eyes express his intense interest in meeting the Brassica face to face. The other two aliens seem to defer to this Brassican. However, the bizarre features render incomprehensible any expression. It is impossible to decipher any emotion or expression on this alien.
Oh yes, the cone things on their foreheads are different.
The captain is clearly gratified to finally be face to face with the Brassicans. The Vulcan appears fascinated by the Brassicans. The good doctor seems quite pleased. The lieutenant seems intrigued by the presence of the Brassicans.
I wonder what she's drinking here. It looks very green.
It is impossible to decipher any emotion or expression on this alien. A distant dwelling of the Brassica. Strands of strange clouds reach across the hazy pink sky. A green dome frames the Brassican dwelling.
Captain, I think you should talk to Septhi.
Jim, go talk to Septhi.
Perhaps you should talk to the alien named Septhi, Captain.
I wonder what Septhi really wants. The one Brassica, most against our making contact, makes me suspicious. Might be another test.
Captain Kirk, isn't it time you returned to your ship?
I was unsure. You have shown us that isolation is no longer a wise choice. I look forward to a challenging future.
This is a day we will celebrate. The day we broke out of our isolation and joined the other races among the stars.
Jim, I've never had readings like this. How should I know if they're healthy or not?
Captain Kirk, I have misgivings about the Klingon race. For our mutual protection, here is a paralens disk of data which I want you to have. With this knowledge, you can come to our defense. Will you take it and safeguard our future?
Yes, I'll take the disc. Not without knowing more about it. No, take it up with the Federation ambassador when he gets here. Yes, I'll take the disc. Not without knowing more about it.
We can give you the know-how to build a reader console for the paralens. What else would you want to know?
I want to know what's on the disc.
The Compassion, the generation ship you explored before coming here, was a probe ship that scanned Klingon space. This paralens contains the data. If they cause us harm, you could retaliate deep into their territory.
How do I know you won't sell us out too? I understand a desire for vengeance, but the Organian Treaty would stop it. Information like this could ignite interstellar war.
Now this is very true, and they do know about the paralens. And they do know the information that it holds.
How do I know you won't sell us out too?
You don't. But if we have, wouldn't you want this in self-defense? Now, are you going to take it?
Give me the paralens. No, keep it. Give me the paralens.
He's just going to stay behind there, I guess.
Is there something else before we go, Captain?
You about done, Jim? You kind of look like you got something else.
I think our mission is about finished, Captain. Unless you have something you wanted to show me.
I wonder what Septhi really wants. The one Brassica, most against our making contact, makes me suspicious. Might be another test.
Yeah, it does sound like another test.
Captain Kirk, isn't it time you returned to your ship?
This appears to be another of the paralens disks. Without a reader terminal, it is not possible to extract the data.
I believe we probably could return to our ship, but this is the sensible option.
What's this, Captain Kirk? A paralens? Brascan data, no doubt. Are you turning it over to me?
Yes, in the name of the trust and cooperation, Captain Clar, the data disk belongs in your hands. Not only to show it, Captain Clar, do you have anything to share as a result of seeing this? Yes, in the name of the trust and cooperation, Captain Clar, the data disk belongs in your hands.
Yeah, this is definitely the best option.
What is it exactly?
You might want to reconsider, Captain Kirk. What if I substituted a scan of Federation space and told you it was a scan of Klingon space?
These aliens gave you a scan of our sovereign territory, Kirk? I demand you give that to me!
If it is a scan of Federation territory, Captain Kirk, you will be branded a traitor if you hand it over. A difficult quandary, is it not?
And the last Brassican test. Is it not, Zinti?
Even if you had a reader console to examine that paralens, which of you would read it? So we will not provide it. If you believe that makes this the last of our tests, so be it.
This disk contains data which could bring about war. It must be destroyed. Klar, you have shown a level of honor I never expected. Take the paralens. If it's a scan of Federation space, I trust you to see it destroyed. Klar, if this is a scan of Klingon space, you have my word, it will be destroyed. Klar, you have shown a level of honor I never expected. Take the paralens. If it's a scan of Federation space, I trust you to see it destroyed.
This doesn't exactly seem like the most sensible choice, but we must make one choice. And we must cooperate. Screw it, let's do it.
Trust brings trust, Kirk. I was given this. They told me it was a scan of Federation space, and I had not decided what to do with it. Now I know.
Aren't you hasty, Klingon? What if that data was really the best examples of our technologies? Why would we offer the knowledge twice?
If it's scans of the sovereign space, then no one should have them. If it's research data, that certainly isn't your only record of it. We will show you we can be trusted.
You have won our respect, Captain. Both of you. Those discs were blank and no scans existed. This was truly the final test. I am greatly reassured about our intersecting futures.
I doubt we have seen the last Brassican test, Zente. Seems to be your nature. The Klingons will do well. Now I think it is time for us to go.
Let me leave you with this. Individuals among us act as individuals, for good and for ill. But overall, the different races of the Federation are joined in a mutual respect that overcomes differences. I think you will be pleased with us.
I think I can already see that, Captain Kirk. Farewell.
Captain's log, Stardate 6270.5. We have succeeded in making formal contact with the Brassica. We look forward to a long and productive relationship with them. So, Lieutenant, you turned down the Brassica's offer to become the Federation official ambassador.
Not in my job description, Captain. And they were probably just testing me.
A formidable accomplishment, Captain. Establishing diplomatic relations with a new and advanced alien race. Improving our relations with the Klingons. Impressive.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
Everyone's so cheerful today. Even Spock's in a good mood. This makes me nervous.
Message from Starfleet, Captain.
There's my answer.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.
Another message from Starfleet.
On screen.
Jim, we have evaluated your current series of missions, and we are impressed. Starfleet Tactical is going to be using a lot of your recent actions and putting them in the Academy texts.
I'm glad Starfleet approves.
I'll see what I can do to get your crew some shore leave. In the meantime, keep up the good work. Starfleet out.
I've never thought of myself being in some textbook.
Most of the people who make it into the textbooks never think about it either.
An astute observation, Doctor.
Why, thank you, Spock.
Of course, given the frequency of your observations, the odds that you would eventually say something relevant to a situation are...
I don't think we need to hear that, Spock. Well, now that we're a happy Starfleet family, let's get to our next mission.
And some shore leave, I hope.